So after 10 seasons of this save with Oldham Athletic, we have managed to get them back all the way to the Premier League, and we are going to resign from the club. Because now that we have made it there, our job is complete, and it is now up to somebody else to make sure they can keep them in the Premier League. My prediction for what is going to happen over the next 10 or so seasons is they are just going to fall off the face of the earth, maybe back down to League 2. However, my hopes are they stay in the Premier League. I feel like Championship might be like a reasonable kind of guess. League 1, League 2 is where I think they're going to go. If you think they're going to stay in the Premier League, tell me in the comments, and I think you're probably wrong. 5 seasons have passed, and we are on the 31st of May 2038. How well have Oldham done? Are they still in the Premier League? I don't think anything gives it away here. Let's click on the Premier League. Are they in the Premier League? They are not in the Premier League. Okay, right, let's drop down then to the Championship. Are they in the Championship? They've just won the playoff final. They've finished 4th and just won the playoff final. They've not been absolutely destroyed. Admittedly, 5 seasons is not a huge amount of time, but the fact that they are still up there at the right end of, not I was going to say the table, the league structure, shall we say, is very good to see. The manager at the moment is Connor Sellers. I've never heard of Connor Sellers. He is, in real life, he is a, what is he? He's the, what is it? He's assistant manager at Bradford? Nope. He's the under-21s assistant manager at Hull, is what his current job is in real life. In 2028, he went to MK Dons, then Barnsley, then Crewe, then Preston, and then Oldham. He's only been at Oldham for a year, so let's see what's happened to Oldham over the last 5 seasons. So their return to the Premier League kind of ended as we expected. For some reason, there are 10 English sides in the Champions League, Europa League, or Europa Conference League. Fair enough. 6 of them in the Champions League as well. Oldham finished bottom of the table. 4 wins. 1-0 against Norwich, a 2-1 against Brentford, 2-1 against Sunderland, and a 1-0 against Fulham. 6 draws as well, and 28 defeats. I wonder whether they played the same formation. I imagine they didn't. And then on their return to the Championship, a mid-table finish down in 13th place, which is not great. 16 wins, 15 draws, 15 defeats. Positive 4 goal difference, 63 points on the board. So they stayed in the Championship. Obviously, we know they've just been promoted in real life back. I'd say real life, not in real life, in the save. Just been promoted back to the Premier League. So I imagine they are staying in the Championship until that point, moving up to 8th place in Season 3. 22 wins, just 9 draws as well, 15 defeats, positive 14 goal difference. Last season, again, 8th place, 11 defeats, 19 draws, a decent positive goal difference as well. 67 points, actually less than what they had the season before, and actually, I don't think too far away from what they had that season. No, not really. And then the season just gone, finishing 4th place, winning themselves promotion via the playoffs after beating, who did they beat in the final again? We can have a very quick look. They beat Fulham 2-0 in the final. So they are back in the Premier League. They have not fallen off a cliff. Let's see who were the managers in charge after me. So, he was not in charge for very long, was he? David Artell. Who is David Artell? He's not even real. I can't even click on him. So he was in charge for how many games? Quite a few games in the Premier League. He was in charge for 21 Premier League games and got sacked, which makes sense. Then David Davis came in. He was in charge for just 4 games, didn't win a single one. Then Liam Rosenior came in at the end of the season. I say at the end of the season. He came in on the 1st, and he's been there for 4 years. So he's actually been at the club for 4 years and has only just left for Connor Sellers. So he's done well when it comes to his record, I guess, winning quite a lot of games, but a lot of them did actually come in the Championship. And then Connor Sellers is the man who's come in towards the end of this season. So he's only done half a season, but he's won 12 of those games. He's actually won just over 50% of the matches in charge. So interesting kind of selection of managers. This is the weird one to me. I don't know who this man is. Is he real? The fact that he doesn't exist confuses the hell out of me as well. Anyway, obviously, I'm not going to look at all of these players. I'm just going to take a look at the transfers that have come in and left the club. I believe this is the season, their first season in the Premier League, where they spent £33 million, selling 18.5. So who actually left? They sold Petric Shabani, which is a bit of a surprise. I mean, considering he's probably our number 1 goalkeeper. They sold Jonathan Francois as well, who's not a terrible player. We know that one. Jack Kingdon as well, leaving the club for £4.7 million. Might have been a mistake because he was only here for half a season. But, I mean, he was good. Why did they get rid of him? Most of their money was spent on Ed Turns, who is now a coach. So we don't know what he was like as a player. Ed Turns came in for £20.5 million. Is he a centre-back? I feel like he should have been a centre-back. I have no idea. He played 449 appearances and scored 8 goals. The fact that they bought him for 20 million and sold him for half of that as well it's annoying. It's upsetting and annoying. They also signed Jadel Katongo, who's a right back. They might have brought him in actually to play as a centre back as well, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense. But he's stuck around for a year. Reynaldo is a centre back. He's not a very good centre back, but he's a centre back, so he was probably came in to be the replacement in the back four to get rid of what's his name, Jack Kingdon. John Parker as well, coming in from Portsmouth for £3 million. He's a good player. He was probably all right. Then this season they get relegated. They spend another huge amount of money, just under £30 million. The big names signing here. We've got this man. I'm not going to try and say his name. He's quite good as a right back and a winger. And we've also got Vivian Monlouis, who is ridiculous. Leaving the club then. Ed Turns, we can see, is leaving the club there. Sebastian Torres has eventually left the club. 144 appearances he's played for Swansea. My brain's telling me that Torres was with us a lot longer than what he was. Apparently, he was only here for a season. I don't know why I thought he was here longer. Reynaldo also leaving the club very shortly after joining, same as Jadel Katongo. I imagine there's some players leaving for very cheap fees that probably should not have left for very cheap fees. Ashley Rogers left as well. Went off to Coventry and then Burnley and then Plymouth. More time in the Championship than Harry Amas is one of the bigger name signings to come in as a left-back. Ruel Walters as well coming in. He should have been better. He's still at the club, fair play. Andrew Nichols leading the line that has moved over to Crystal Palace. And Terence Suarez, or Soares, it's probably Soares because he's Irish. He's now at Southampton. He's a pretty good player as well. Leaving the club then, any names of players that we recognise? I feel like there should be. Owen Phillips for £31 million. Did I sign Owen Phillips? I think I did, didn't I? Brought him in the last season. He didn't really play until we got relegated and then got sold for £31 million to Derby and then got relegated. And I'd say that's probably it from the players leaving the club that season. Joining the club in season... Is this season 4? I think this is season 4 we're looking at. Yes, it is. So Sam Amoameo, that's a very good signing, although he is now 31. I like that signing. £11 million a lot, though. We've got Harries, might be his name. He's very good. He's still at Oldham. That might be one of the reasons why they've got promoted. Kenny Appleyard, he's not very good. I don't like Appleyard at all. Ronstead now, that's a loan deal. Callum White is... Why have we spent £275,000 on a left-back and then immediately sold him for 50k profit? Bertram Meyer is a... What position do you play, mate? You're a centre-back and a right winger. I don't understand that one. And then Dalmar Earnshaw, who is a centre-back, or Eldershaw, sorry, is a centre-back and a right-back. Selling, or leaving the club, Dwayne Joseph. I believe he was one of the players, if not the player, to score one of the winning goals in the playoff final. So Dwayne Joseph has left, gone to Southampton for 24 million. A lot. Jordan Ramirez, the Peruvian, he's moved over to Real San Sebastian for £29 million. A lot of money for him. Anyone else of any interest there? Does not look like it. And then the final season, another £17 million spent. Big name signing here by the look of it is Daniel as a left back. Doesn't look anything particularly exciting. Rodolfo Rosas as a centre-back, again, doesn't look particularly exciting. These aren't the most, I'm not really too keen on these players. He looks all right. Samoes looks like a decent player. Leaving the club, £56 million worth of players. So, we've got Andrew Nichols, who I think he was he mine? Or did I can't remember. I always forget who I actually signed. I don't think I did bring that guy in, did I? This man feels like he should have been my player. He wasn't. No, they just signed him on a free transfer. Fair enough. In fact, it doesn't look like any of those players were actually mine. Who is still at the club then? So, obviously, we are 5 years into the future, so most players probably would have left. We've still got Luca Fletcher is still at the club. He's played 374 league appearances, scoring 157 goals. That's a lot of football and a lot of goals. Fair play for sticking around after getting relegated. He's still quite good as well at 31. Nana Abubakar also still at the club after signing him on a free transfer in the last season. He's good. I do like Abubakar, but the fact that we're not at the club anymore, I feel like means that we're not getting the most out of him. Also, he is a late developer, so it was a very good signing for me to bring him in because he's only 30, maybe still got a couple of years. Jace Fitzgerald was definitely somebody we brought in the last season, and he's not very good anymore. Stephen Gordon, also a player that we brought in actually quite a while ago. No, maybe not last season. I feel like it was a long time ago. But I guess in game it was 6 years, but in real life it wasn't. So Stephen Gordon is still at the club as well. We've got Lucas Kapongo is still at the club. 25 years of age goalkeeper with 63 caps for Congo. I like the fact that he's still here. He's still going for £99,000. He's eventually broken into the first team. He might have been a massive contributing factor to getting relegated as well. But Lucas Kapongo is still at Oldham. Just taking a look as well at the honours. Obviously, we're only 5 years into the future, so not a huge amount of time has passed. Nothing has happened, really. We've kind of done some stuff, apparently, in the under-18s division, which nobody really cares about. And obviously, the FA Cup second place in 2029, which was a very long time ago now in-game. We're going to jump forward another, I guess, 5 more years to see how else things have gone. Actually, very quickly, legends of the club. Anyone we recognise? No. Icons, Luca Fletcher, Jordan Ramirez. That is very good. Favoured personnel. Andre de Cruz. We'll have a look at him in a second. And me. Look at me there. Andre Cruz, then, is at Ipswich. Did his contract just expire? His contract just expired. Really? Hold on. We need to find out what's happened to some players, because I feel like I've missed some people because they've just been released. So let's go back a few years. I think this season is the one we're on about. So David Kazumu has left. Is he still a player? He's not. He's 38. Of course he's not. Andy Salmon is... Who's Andy? I feel like Andy Salmon's somebody that I should know. He played 20 times for us. And look how good he is now at 30. He's horrendous. There's one of the big name players, Alfie Smith, who's also absolutely appalling. Really? I mean, he had one good year. My brain tells me he was a lot better than what he actually was, apparently. Shaycliffe as well, leaving the club, going to Forest Green and then Mansfield. He doesn't look too bad, does he? Shaycliffe's kind of an alright player. Finley Burns leaving on a free transfer. He's done a good job for us. 225 appearances, 14 goals going forward then. Shea Seager Roberts, a player that I brought in because I thought he's going to be one for the future, despite the fact we weren't doing any more seasons. He's not great, is he? Let's go forward again. There we see De Cruz. We've got, I believe he was a player that I signed, who's not an awful goalkeeper. Anyone else? Scott Vines is a name that I recognise for some reason. I don't know why. Played 3 times for the first team. Kieran Kirk is a name that I recognise as well. He came from my youth intake, and he's not particularly bad at all. I mean, he's obviously not at the club anyway. Barry. Oh, hold on. I remember Barry. Barry was our attacking midfielder, wasn't he? Yes, he's now playing for Wigan. I mean, he's all right. He's not amazing, is he? I'm not surprised that we kind of got sacked, not sacked, but we got relegated, because a lot of these players are not good enough, are they? If these were the players they were trying to play in the Premier League, it makes perfect sense for them to actually be back down in the Championship. But they have been promoted once again, so we're going to go forward now 5 more seasons to see how well they do over the next 5 years. Can they stay in the Premier League? No. I mean, technically, yes. Technically, they are in the Premier League. They have been relegated with Millwall and Chelsea for some reason. I don't know why Chelsea have got relegated, but there we are. Currently managed by Wayne Rooney. Not what I was expecting to see at all. So what has happened? Let's just go here then. So let's jump back to that season there. So that was the season they got relegated. They got promoted that season by winning the playoffs, which means this was they got relegated again in... Okay. Then they we'll come back. Did they get promoted again? Yes, they did, and they stayed up. They stayed up, and then they got relegated again. Right. So Oldham are a bit all over the place. It's fine. It kind of makes sense. Oh, dear. Literally a promotion or a relegation every season. So that was the season from 5 years ago. Relegated, promoted, relegated, promoted as champions, and then finishing 15th, and then relegated one. But I guess finishing as champions there does mean that there is another Sky Bet Championship to their badge of honour in 2042, which is nice to see. Can we see, is there anything else? I mean, we haven't checked the facilities. They're still at Boundary Park. It was rebuilt in 1991. This, by the way, is a 140-year-old stadium at this point. I feel like knock it down, build a new one. It's not in a good state in real life. So in, 40 or 20 years' time, it's still not going to be in a good state, is it? Facilities as well are pretty poor. Average training, below average youth facilities. I spent time investing in these as well, which is annoying. So the manager situation has been interesting. David Davis seems to be getting the caretaker position constantly. So Connor Sellers was sacked after 299 days. I imagine getting back to the Premier League and then being awful. Carrick came in for 175 days and then got sacked after they were relegated. And then it was straight into Charlie McKillop, who was there for a year, nearly 2 years. Charlie McKillop is not a real man. He's currently the caretaker manager of Chelsea. Actually, no, he's not. He's the head of youth development, and he's very good. I mean, the fact that he came in to be our manager just out of nothing was quite interesting. He obviously then left, which meant David Davis got back in. Tom Hopper then became manager for just under a year, now 50 years of age. manager of Norwich. David Davis returns. And then it comes Troy Ashton, who is not a real man. Swindon, Birmingham, Oldham, Hull and Wolves is who he's been in charge of. He's not a bad manager either, is he? And then Bartosz Grzelek could be his name. He's a real man. He's a Swedish man. I was not expecting that. I was expecting Polish. He's currently manager of Hull. Is he Polish? He is part Polish. There you go. So he was there for literally a year, and now Wayne Rooney has also been here for a year, has been relegated. I imagine he might be getting sacked in a few days' time in game. So it's been a lot of managers, from 9 years, 333 days with me, to literally that's the longest serving manager, and it's not even 2 years. Just taking a quick look at some of the transfers. I want to see some big money. That's what I'm after. Mike Butler, not a player anymore, apparently. £80 million was spent. We sold £81 million in that season. Nana Abubakar going for £35 million. Admittedly, that was 5 years ago now, but still, he would have been 31. That's a lot of money. £37 million spent on Ben Robinson. He should be a good footballer. He's on loan at Shakhtar, and his contract's expiring. They spent £37 million on a player who scored, that's not even a lot of goals, is it? That is barely 20 goals. Into the next season, so 19.5 up to 25.5 for Matthew Beard. He's good. I like Matthew Beard. He's a very good centre-back. We've also got David Soley for potentially 24 million. He also looks very good as well. If we were in charge, playing our formation, I think some of these players would be very good. I've just seen £84 million were spent this summer. That's a lot of money to spend. Players leaving the club. Lucas Kapongo's gone. He's finally left the club and gone over to Frankfurt. He conceded 400 league goals. It's probably too many, isn't it? Obviously, most of these players, if not all of these players, probably from this point on, we won't know who the hell they are. Dylan Kuhn is next up. Striker from Southampton. 6 goals. 6 goals and 58 appearances. What are they? They're not playing strikers, surely. Like, what is going on? This is the most recent season. Abdullah Al-Enzi has come in from Portsmouth for a lot of money. I mean, he's not even that great, is he? He's already transfer listed. He's been there a year and they've transfer listed him for a third of the price they paid. So have we got any records, like us personally, have we got any records at all? The highest transfer fee paid was Ben Robinson that we've seen. Highest transfer fee received is this man, which was not our player. It's actually literally about 2 seasons ago that one took place. Most overall goals by a player in a season is Luca Fletcher. And he has the most goals by a player as well. Most league goals by a player. That's good. Highest average rating is Luca Fletcher. Zach Emerson. He's a real man, isn't he? He is a real man. He's the manager of Scunthorpe. Fair enough. This wasn't actually us, was it? I just know he was at our club when we were in charge. Anything else of interest? Lucas Kapongo kept 22 clean sheets in 2035-36. Luca Fletcher, most man of the match awards as well. That's obviously very good. This is our youngest goal scorer. He's filth. He's absolutely filth. This isn't even so... Oh, they loaned him, that's why. Okay. Well, the fact that we have managed to take Oldham Athletic from a non-league side in the Vanarama National League all the way up to the Premier League, and then someone else has taken them back down and back up and back down and back up. They've actually had, since we've left the club, 3 more promotions, or 2 more promotions, and 3 relegations since we've left the club. So it's been an exciting time, hasn't it? I think this is actually the last 20 years. So that was our first season there. So we won the league. We got promoted, couple of seasons of mid-table, promoted, couple of seasons of mid-table, promoted into the Premier League, and then this mess. It's fine, it's evening out, it's flattening out, we're not expecting them to be winning the league. Just having a look as well, it does not look like there's been any kind of decent performances in any cups, so we can actually look here, can't we? So, we know we got to the FA Cup final. Where is it? Somewhere. There it is. We lost to Tottenham in the FA Cup final. And then, I mean, they barely got past the 3rd round. They've lost in the 3rd round so many times. Carabao Cup, once again, just losing on penalties a lot in the Carabao Cup. A lot of 3rd round, 1st and 2nd and 3rd round in the Carabao Cup. And then this we haven't been in for quite a while. Wait, we have. Hold on. Is our under whatever team? I need to click one. Is our under 21? Our under 21s is in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. How have we managed to do that? Well, that is going to do it then for this Oldham Athletic save. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've also got some other stuff going on the channel at the moment. In particular, we've got a Youth Academy Challenge save with Pogon over in Poland, which is going to last for 10 or so seasons. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in whatever you watch next.